All right, so I've been reporting on the police corruption in Boulder, Colorado for over 10 years. Also on how victims are afraid to come forward. The law is above the law. They pretend like they're going to help people with physical and mental disabilities, and then they, like mean kids in school, they tease these people, harass them, and beat them up for their disabilities, creating a further issue with those people and their disabilities. And then they slander these people in public. This has resulted in the deaths of over 300 people that I know. Over 300 people that could have had a life, could have had a decent life if it were not for police corruption and the corruption of the Boulder City Council. Not all of these people died in Boulder. Some of them died elsewhere. People don't want to see poverty. In Boulder County especially, they don't want to see any sort of poverty. It makes their city look bad. Money is more important than human lives. The police refuse to take a look at any wrongdoing of any of their officers by compartmentalizing, by cutting off anything that shows their wrongdoing, that shows any of the events leading up to the situation where somebody is having severe panic attack because they're afraid of the Border Police and the Border Police tactics. And the fact that the Border Police, their Internal Affairs Division, will not investigate properly the wrongdoing of those officers. There was a young man in Baltimore. He endured similar things to what that young man in Boulder endured, only worse. This young man was black, however, and he was in Baltimore. He died of positional asphyxiation, and the officers were absolved of their crimes. Because of my disabilities, they've used those disabilities to threaten, harass, assault, intimidate, knowing that it will send me into a crippling panic attack where I cannot function anymore. The Border Police harassed me for 5 days. Their Internal Investigations Division refuses to investigate. I got off the phone with Officer Gerhardt, their Internal Affairs Professional Standards Division, they call it. He didn't even wait for evidence to come in. He just ran with it, telling me that they're not going to investigate, trying to tell me that he reviewed the tapes. Meanwhile, he was claiming that things that should have been on those tapes were not there. Why weren't they? He claimed that what the Border Police did to me in that hospital was justified. It was not justified. They were covering up for the wrongdoing of other officers. I was afraid to speak to those officers. I needed to speak to an officer I could trust, Officer Abel Ramos. They used his name in order to get me to the hospital under an M1 hold, not paying any attention to what was going on. Carmia took part in that. So did Danica. These people did everything that they could to send me into a panic attack so they could frame me for crimes that I didn't commit, prevent me from being able to defend myself in court. What the fuck kind of a judge is going to accuse somebody of threatening someone with a firearm for making a pepper spray? They prevented me from going to court. They tried to make my testimony not allowed in court by calling me mentally ill. That's too broad of a statement. The term mentally ill should never be used by any sort of professional in any capacity. It's too broad a statement. It brings up visions in people's heads of mass shooters and school shooters, people like Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, people like Jeffrey Dahmer. Meanwhile, even with all the people that were trying to tell you guys that I'm not one of those people, you were too busy painting me as a bad guy to absolve yourselves of your own sins. Thousands of people took part in threatening, harassing, and intimidating me. I cannot function. I have to put on a good game face, hoping that somebody will actually help. How I need, not how they assume. Problem is, I can't get past your assumptions. My dad has his own assumptions I can't get past. I was hoping things would be different. I was hoping he would have some compassion, but no, he has none. He's not willing to admit that he's ever done anything wrong. The Bollingers, what they did to me, I need help. They're going to try to cover up their wrongdoings by calling me mentally ill. And they continue to do this, continue to try to force drugs into me. There are consequences to putting drugs in me, violent consequences. That's because these people force drugs into me intravenously. They injected me with drugs that are mind altering and dangerous, and they know that these drugs are mind altering and dangerous. Between looking at the bags and bags of evidence that I have and framing me as some sort of a crazy person who's violent, they chose the second part. And they did this across the state of Colorado, but it's not just in Colorado, it's in Baltimore, it's in Chapel, Nebraska. There are people who can verify it in Chapel, Nebraska. Corruption by Sheriff Jim Hayes can be verified by Daniel Weezer, another corrupt cop. Jeff Ortiz, who was a sheriff later on, who was also a corrupt cop. Sheriff Mike Jepson, he's in a different county. His testimony is useful. And then there's Rose. She still lives in Chapel. Her testimony is useful. Nobody cared to listen to her. They just treat her like she's crazy. This stuff should never be allowed to happen to anyone. Now we want to go real big heavy on Black Lives Matter. How it's just against black people. Well, to some degree. Sir Wallace, good to see you. He's over here saying hello. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Um, to the east of me is Nebraska, where I have warrants out for my arrest for standing up to police officers. And they pulled a lot of the same tactics that they used in Colorado. I already knew that they pulled these tactics. Corrupt cops work corrupt cops. This is where they learn to be corrupt cops. And they are above the law. I really could use a friend, somebody to hang out with and do something positive with. I've needed that for over 2 years. There's a lot of issues that I'm having emotionally, and I can take the physical pain and the emotional pain that's killing me. These internal affairs officers, these officers are going to cover for the other officers. They're going to live through whatever they can, cut out anything that doesn't fit their BS, and try to say, well, you know, our officers, we investigated ourselves, decided we did nothing wrong. This young man in Boulder, Colorado, who was harassed for being black. There's two things that I hope for him. Number one, I hope that the black community is willing to do something that my community was unwilling to do for me. See, my community is the homeless community, who aren't allowed to say so, who never have been allowed to say so. There's the black community, at least they might be able to pull some money together and get this young man a lawyer so he can sue the hell out of Boulder County. But the fact is, that man in Boulder County was not stereotyped for being black. He was stereotyped for looking like a homeless person. The homeless have no rights, and they know they can get away with that. They wouldn't have done the things that they had done if they hadn't confused him for being a homeless person. They do this to homeless males in Boulder County almost nonstop because rich people don't want to see poverty. So they found a way to make a whole bunch of money off of victimizing the impoverished, victimizing the victims, absolving themselves of their own crimes, and ultimately the police in Boulder, Colorado are the real criminals. Many of the people who are homeless, they are sent from one place to another, to another, to another, to another, to another. We don't want you here. We want you somewhere else. They tried running me out of Chapel, Nebraska for trying to expose that those officers did not do their job. They tried to run me out of Boulder for exposing that those officers did not do their jobs. And ultimately, they had to frame me in order to do that. They forced me into a situation where I literally had to break the law to try to bring attention to the situation. Nobody should have to break the law to defend themselves. Nobody. Um, for me, going to the police to report the threats against me, the assault by Derek Apicata, every time that I have tried to show the police something, they've either brushed me off or they have assaulted me and put me on an M1 hold to justify the things that they did. This is why I ultimately was suicidal. This is why I ultimately attempted suicide, but only a small part of it. There's also the fact that my friends, people that I love, were threatened, harassed, and intimidated. They didn't come forward, they hid it, saying, Sean, be strong. Use your voice to be strong for so many people. It's just not working. Thousands of threats that have gone unreported, not because I can't make the effort. When I make the effort, the same thing happens. They give me the homeless treatment and the mentally ill treatment. I went into the system when I was 4 years old. That's what I know. When I go somewhere and I don't see black people, it scares me. When I go somewhere and I don't see Asians, it scares me. Um, and I know that comes across as racist, but really, we're talking about a bunch of pampered white people versus people who know real struggle. When I grew up in the system, I knew the real struggle. Survival mode, that's what it's called. You are so busy just trying to survive while people have these great ideas on what you should do with resources that you don't have, resources that they have, and they assume everybody has them. And then the people who have the most help talk about how they do it all themselves. There's a woman named Mandy Hughes and her daughter, Alyssa Rainwater. These women do have help, but the fact is, Mandy knows about real struggle. She knows about the abuse. She lived many of the things that I speak out about. She also has family support, and she is grateful for it. That's something that I don't see out of mainstream white people. When I say mainstream white people, what I'm talking about is people who grew up in a family, people who have family that's there for them, family that'll show up in court, family that'll take the time to listen to them and to find out a situation. Whereas most of us who grew up in the system, our parents didn't care. They cared about their drugs and they care about covering up for their own sins, just like Natalie's parents. Rose was not a good mother to her daughter. But unlike Ted, she feels remorse for it. This woman, Shelley, she pretended like she cared, like she wanted to see what was going on. But when it all came down to it, she didn't. She sent another woman, Kara Johnson, to play head games with me. And the two of them tag team back and forth to play head games with me. And ultimately, when I called them on their BS, they stopped pretending like they cared and started playing victim immediately after being caught in a lie. There's a lot of black people that I know that never have to go through any of this. But there's a lot more black people that I know who have had to go through it. It's because the majority of the black people I knew in life, I knew from growing up in the system. Many of them like to beat me up for the color of my skin. Also, many of them found a lot of respect for me because I could take it. And I did take it. I took a lot of it. You're not likely to find a black person who has been beaten up for their color of their skin as many times as I have. A lot of times after getting beaten up, especially multiple opponents, people who beat me up, when they were done, they go, man, you got a lot of heart. People with a white mentality don't think that way. They don't know struggle. They don't know real struggle. They don't know survival mode because they've never had to live there, where you don't have support. You don't have family support. Mandy will never pretend like she doesn't have any family support. She will never pretend like she has to do it all on her own because she knows she doesn't. Mark Swanigan, same thing. He, well, he's about the most racist black man I've ever met. When I decided that I was going to go after child molesters, there's a reason for it. It's because people say they're going to do stuff they're not going to do. They say, I'd castrate that guy, or I'd shoot him in the head, or I'd this, and I'd that. Well, I didn't lie. I know that I don't have what it takes to castrate somebody, to cut somebody's head off, shoot them, do any of that. And I know that if I go out and kill one child molester, then I spend the rest of my life in prison. But I also know that as long as I expose these predators, people will be aware of them. I can expose 1,000 predators as long as I don't do something stupid and kill one. So I choose to expose these people. And I will continue to expose these people. But also, I have to get the words of the victims before I can expose these people. Secondhand does no good. Secondhand doesn't help out anybody. Like Jamie telling me that James raped Jackie. I needed to hear that from Jackie before I said anything. I should have been intelligent about it. But I was busy having a panic attack, worried that Jamie and her son were unsafe and in an unsafe position. Well, I was having a severe panic attack. And I'm given the wrong information, and I'm trying to make decisions based off of that. I'm not willing to kill people. I never have been. There was a time in my life where, from all the bullying that I've endured because people aren't accepting of those who are different, I did do something about it. I tried to join the military. I wanted to be a Navy SEAL, and I just wanted to shoot somebody. And I came to the realization that that's not something I'm ever going to be able to do. I'm never going to be able to hate someone enough to do that, especially not a stranger. Somebody who has never done me wrong. See, their soldiers think the same thing our soldiers do. They think they're protecting their families. In reality, you're protecting a bunch of rich white people. That's what you're protecting. I've studied all of our social problems in America, and I see this stuff happening daily. And nobody bats an eye. They say these people wanted it, needed it, chose it, and deserved it. One thing that I wholeheartedly believe in is saving lives. And I believe that is important. I'm never too busy to save a life. I'm never too busy to protect the victim. When Anna was in Pittsburgh and her boyfriend cut her wrist, I I didn't have the means to get there to rescue her. She is now back with that man. There's nothing I can do about it. The victim has to come forward, and she's stuck in a subservient situation where she has to take it in order to keep the roof over her head. There's another friend of mine named Anna. She's homeless. She's overwhelmed. She keeps trying medications, and the medications do the same thing to her that they do to me, to make the situation worse. When it comes to Ted Bollinger and Tim Beeson, I have evidence enough to prove that number one, Tim Beeson is a rapist. Statutory rape is still rape. And number two, that Ted Bollinger is a very bad man. Ted Bollinger, what he did to his daughter was completely wrong. But because he's family, well, family protects family. One thing that I have learned through all of this is that as much as people say that honesty is the best policy, it's not. No matter how honest I am, it's other people's honesty that's important. By preventing me from going to court, preventing me from defending myself in court, they've allowed the predators to make it illegal for me to defend myself, illegal for me to use my First Amendment right to speak out. The media destroyed my name. The bombers destroyed my name. The police destroyed my name. But I'm still exposing predators. And I will do so until I am dead. And although I pray for death every single day, as long as I have a voice, I'm going to use it. As long as I am breathing, I am going to use that voice to expose these predators like Tim Beeson and Ted Bollinger. Alicia Bollinger is not a sexual predator, not so far as I know. However, the things that she did to destroy my life, destroy my name. Same thing with Natalie Bollinger and Maddie Bower. I should have been allowed a day in court over those. These predators did everything in their power to prevent me from having that day in court. And that includes the Board of Police Department, the most corrupt police department anywhere I've ever been. More corrupt than Chapel, Nebraska. I'm lucky I can make videos during a panic attack. I'm lucky I can drive during a panic attack. But it's not been safe for me to drive. I'm not mentally able to pay attention enough to safely drive. Not since Natalie was killed. Not since before Natalie was killed. These people put me into a financial state that prevented me from even being able to go to all of the appointments and court dates without more financial help. I would, I'd like to not be autistic. I would like to not have Tourette syndrome. I'd like to not have panic attacks. I see people, there's two people, just one table down, two friends talking, sitting down enjoying themselves. I can't even remember the last time I got to do that.